everyone. Jane here this morning, afternoon, evening to you. Hello, Alicia.
Hello, friend.
I forgot to tell you that me and my hairstylist are flirting with adding volume to my life.
Okay, how are we doing this?
So I sent you a message and I was like, I don't care about length, but I would love to flirt with the idea of having some sort of extension, but just for thickness, not for length, because my hair is too short to, like, it would just show so much. And I'm like, I don't want a lot because then I think my head would not be able to handle it. I'm flirting with the idea of what is possible. Anyways, there's this thing, it's called V for volume. And I think it's what she put on Melissa for Be Happy. Choose Happy. Sorry, Be Happy. Wow, Choose Happy. So basically, they would all be cut like the same length as my hair. And it's just to add more hair to my head. And it starts like here, and then it goes down, and then they go down like it's like a V in the back. And it's just one layer of hair, of extra hair. So it's not like this like crazy thing. Shouldn't be too heavy. Shouldn't be too endommageant. Just because it's not not like it's like everywhere and it's like mixing and whatever. So she's like, I'm sleeping on it. I'm thinking about what it could do, and then it's also a good trial to see if I like it like in terms of not just the look, but if it hurts my head, or if I can't do what I usually do. I'm like, will I be able to do my top tight buns? Probably not, because they're always like down, So yeah, seeing if I even like it. So it's like a part of just having more thickness in my hair. I don't even know why I would want that, but apparently it's something that I texted her and I was like, what do you think about this? Oh, it's because I'm watching Sex and the City and I want hair.
So gorgeous. Her hair is so gorgeous.
And I was like, okay, so in the new Just Like That, her hair is long and whatever. And I'm like, I wonder if she has extensions. Like, I feel like she probably does. But then I went back and I started Sex and the City, episode 1, season 1. And she has thick hair, like natural thick hair, like looks like Dana.
I almost think it's natural. Like I
agree. I almost think that as well. Like, because I'm like, oh, it's so thick. But then I went back in season 1 and for sure she does not have extension in season 1. Like, it's all curly. It looks like Dana's hair, which it's not extensions. Yeah. She has like really natural curls like Dana. It's insane. Yeah. So pretty. And then someone was like, for your next event, you should have Carrie Bradshaw hair. I'm like, for my next event for life. Like, that is the dream. Big curly hair. Oh man, I would love that so much.
I'm always afraid of the damage. Do you know what I mean? And I know I know not every extension is the same. There's so many different ways to put it in, but I do see, and it's like, it's also like your lashes. Like, obviously, like when you put like, they're damaging my normal lashes. Right?
Yes.
And I've seen people that take their extensions out and it's almost like you like can never not take it out almost after.
Right. It's like extensions, like it's like eyelashes. Yeah.
I know what you mean. And then you can, but then you have to commit to a period of hideousness.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to leave the worrying to my hairstylist. I think she knows my hair a lot. And I think if she's like, it's going to damage it too much, she's like so honest and so intense about it. Do you see how intense she was about me going blonde? Like, she was like on it. No,
I agree. I don't think she would do anything to damage your hair.
No, I think her intentions would be like, if there's someone that would worry, it would be her, and not me, because I'm like, I don't know what I'm in the room. So we'll just see. I'm like, if you think it's like, she's like, we can try and see ça endommage. And the minute I see that it's not working, we're taking them out. Like, it is what it is. So I'm like, okay, cool. It's like an experiment.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, and it's every 6 weeks. She says we can't miss a window. You would have to come in, but I'm already coming in quite often to do treatments in my hair, actually once a month. So she's like, we would really have to like never miss an appointment so that she can
move them up.
Yeah, move them up. Exactly. But I mean, this is not tomorrow, everyone. This might be next year. I'm just making my plan for what I'm going to look like by the time I'm 40. So much time ahead of us.
I'm sad because my hairdresser keeps cutting my hair. Her intentions are nice.
Yes, she's taking care of them. Yeah.
But I feel like it's slowly getting shorter and shorter.
I know what you mean. Yeah. The color is really pretty.
The color is very pretty. I love like because I just got
really pretty. Yeah.
The color updated out in front of my face. It frames my face. Yeah. I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, no, the color's beautiful. It's like everything else. Like when people see us, they see pictures, they're like, oh, your black hair was so pretty. It was like, it was pretty in that picture in that moment. And also like there's one, I had like a memory. My hair was like big, black, whatever. It was like 1 minute after Noah was born. Remember that time?
Oh my gosh, your postpartum hair was
Was the dream.
insane.
So much hair, you guys, so much hair. Oh my gosh, the table. So I'm like, yes, well, for that moment, my hair was pretty because first of all, I put in an hour of work in it and Noah was just born. Like it's not what it would look like today, you know? But anyways, yeah. So, I mean, when you look at your pictures of your long black hair with the curls, like it was so shiny, like you had so much shine in it, but the color that you have today is obviously lighter and fresher.
I think it
So I
matches my
see it.
skin. It matches my skin tone better.
Yes. I mean, there's not a lot of people's skin tone that matches black, jet black. You know what I mean? Like clearly we need like a little bit of freshness around our face. Okay, do you think we're gonna go to Vegas for your birthday?
I hope so.
I hope so too. I was thinking about this October and I was thinking about what the rules could be. I was like, oh my God.
That's what's like so hard is like the thought, like, is that I feel like who knows?
I know.
And like when does it okay, pre-pandemic, I probably would have had plane tickets to do the things I wanted to do this year.
Right.
When do people buy tickets? The day before?
See, the thing, I understand what you're saying. I think that the big difference yet again, when it comes to the pandemic is kids versus no kids. And I truly believe that. Like, I see people living their lives and like, yeah, but you didn't bring your children or someone else or you're divorced and your other spouse is watching your children. And so there's less guilt. Like, I feel like if I were to say to my mom, we're going to Mexico, just Jeff and I, and we're risking being there an extra blah, 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 blah days, I don't think she'd be really up for it. You know what I mean?
No.
And my mom is like the nicest grandma alive and basically would do anything I would ask her to do. And I was talking to a few others that have small kids and they're like, oh, and then I asked my mom and I could tell she was not wanting to take care of my children.
Right. Because you're thinking if we go there, we go to Vegas, we get COVID, our parents have our kids, and shit. Yeah.
And then we have to isolate well, I mean, there's no isolation, I think, in the US. I don't think they like follow you and they're wondering if you're isolating. But then and we always say this, right? It's like we always talk about the isolation. We never talk about actually getting sick because we think we're superhumans and we're not, but we could actually be sick.
And that's the conversation I was having with Neil about going to England. I was like, hey, here's like the scenarios. Like we get COVID, we get COVID, but one of us is actually sick.
Yeah. And like we could end up in the hospital. Like it's just too much.
Oh.
And then you see the people that just said 1, 2, 3, go. And they went and they came back and life was good. That is also one of the scenarios, Alicia. That is
possible. I know.
You know?
I know.
So right now, if you're wondering and asking, oh my God. If you're wondering and asking, I told Jeff last night, I was like, you know what? I think that we wait until we all catch COVID. And then it almost opens up more opportunities once you've had it. There's less testing for 90 days. It almost, and also we know we've caught it. So chances of catching it again 2 weeks later, whatever, you just hop on a plane and you do something while that window is open, you know? And I was like, we're planning this like adventure with the kids. This adventure and this adventure will only happen if we all catch COVID before. Like we cannot leave and no one's caught COVID yet.
Okay.
So anyways, and like we only have that flexibility because Jeff has a plane. But other than that, like I'm like, would I hop on a plane right now on Air Canada and leave like without having had COVID? I don't think so. Like it's a lot. And also plane tickets are like, we don't care. You didn't know and you don't want to go anymore. Like, you know what I mean? And VRBO housing in the States, they don't care, you know? So it's like everything's canceled. PS, everything's canceled on my end for trips. White canvas, like I said to Jeff.
Blank canvas. 2022 is a blank canvas.
Do you feel that way? That actually got me excited. Oh, I wanted to talk to you about this. Go say something. And then
I'm really grateful that I made the decision to get a pool last summer.
Yes,
because that's something to be excited about. I like haven't like done the adult things that I need to do to like make sure. I mean, I know that nothing can happen right now, but I want to be like ready when spring hits. But
of course you are.
I really am obviously really grateful I made that decision because no matter what state The world is in. My children, at least me and my children, can jump in the pool.
pool. Yes, Alicia. Say it louder. No, I agree. I agree. I agree. I agree 1000%. And you know what? I was like, having a blank canvas, is it actually, we can see it as an exciting thing. And I said that to Jeff the minute we made the decision, like, it's not smart of us to pay in full a house in Florida when they just canceled our flight. Like, you can't do that. The house does not care that you are scared. And you know what I mean? The people that owned a house in Florida. So, and we canceled the whole thing, didn't lose any money because we canceled early enough. And then I'm like, now what, And I'm changing my motto. You ready?
Okay.
Living the simple life, no longer.
Okay.
No longer a thing. I realize that I'm not meant to live the simple life.
Okay.
So it's like a mix of everything. Now I have this new person in my life who I just started following, and her motto with her work, I think, and her life experiences, she says, live your dash. Have you ever heard that?
No.
And I had not either. And I looked, and it's like a very popular hashtag, live your dash. And then I Googled what live your dash means. And it's like living in the present, living in the moment, whatever. And I'm like, I like it. Cool. I believe in that statement. And then I ended up talking to her, and I actually got the what live your dash, like where it comes from. And it's basically on your tombstone. There's your birth year, and there's your death year, and there's a dash. Live your dash. And I really was like, that spoke to me a lot. And I was like, I'm going to friggin' live my dash right now.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. But doesn't it get to you? You're like, you have to live the dash. The dash is when you're living. Live the dash. Live your dash. I loved it so much. You know how I am with my weird things. So this is my new thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't want to live the simple life. That was me kind of like, I guess, trying to push aside. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, you couldn't even say it without, you were like, living the simple life. Like,
Yeah,
you couldn't even say your motto nicely.
That's right.
It wasn't the right motto.
Myself say it's not a good motto if you can't say it in a nice way.
No.
I was forcing myself in this motto, and here's why. Because I felt like it was my way to accepting the pandemic. And I'm like, you know what though? You can accept the pandemic and still live your best life. And that's what I did these past 2 years, right? I'm like, we're just gonna live it to the maximum. And we're gonna, like, if this is the rule, we're just gonna go right to the edge of the rule. I've been living that way. And I thought that I was tired of doing that. Like, I'm like, je suis fatiguée. Like, I don't know. I got exhausted. I think I just got exhausted at the end of the year. I got exhausted. So aussi simple que ça. And I'm just flirting with what I want right now. And I think it's okay. I think 2022 is everyone's doing their thing. Do you agree?
Yes.
I think 2022 is the year that you just stop talking about what other people are doing and you just do your thing.
Yes.
Because I think 2020 was watching. What are they going to do? How are they going to? Right now, everyone, I think, is tired of the pandemic, but everyone has their own circumstances and their own resources and their own whatever. You just do your thing and you do whatever feels right. I feel like that's where we're at.
I totally get what you mean about feeling tired. I kind of felt the same way of I'm tired of trying to create happiness in my own life. Okay. You know what I mean? Because happiness is going out to dinner, having girls' night, doing this, going on a trip, planning a vacation. And I was tired of planning things that could be taken away from me.
Yeah. And that's where living the simple life came from.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not planning trips. I guess I'm not planning whatever. And that's okay. I'm not planning trips either. But I do think that while I'm here, while I'm in my own home or whatever, I'm going to drink some good coffee.
Oh, I didn't know what we were drinking. Oh, is this the year? Guys, Jose, after that one tequila shot, she was feeling good.
Oh my God, you guys, you would have laughed. I was drunk for 27 minutes.
It was funny. It was good.
I actually really enjoy that tiny buzz. I see why people do it. I don't know why you continue. That's the part I don't understand. So much work. And also you all get to a point where you're kind of feeling sick and you're kind of sloppy. I've never gotten to that point. I only got to the point of you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, the point of sick and sloppy is never, I think,
the goal. Okay.
No. And I'm really working on not getting there ever anymore. Maybe not ever anywhere, but that's not who I want to be.
Okay. All right. Obviously I support you not being that person. I'm why would you want that?
The other day I we were playing games or whatever, and I was like super responsible, and like Neil got a little bit, and I was like, how annoying are you? Like,
Oh my God, that's funny.
so I was like, oh, drink some
Do you
water.
think you'll be annoyed of people that are drinking? Like, I don't get annoyed with people.
You
Oh,
don't.
I do not. As long as you are not vomiting, I'm good with you. If you
Yeah.
want to be sloppy, if you want to be annoying, if you want to talk too much, I'm like,
Now,
okay.
was I just annoyed because he was my husband?
I think you're often just annoyed with Neil.
I mean, that like happens. Like also the same night we were sitting, we were one husband was eating chips. The wife was so annoyed with the chip eating. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't bugging me, but it's because that wasn't my husband. But if
Right.
that was my husband, I would have been like, your chip eating is annoying.
Oh my God, this is fun. Okay, what were we talking about today? Oh, okay.
Okay, we're talking about who a calorie deficit does not work for.
Yeah. And so this came like we're, I guess, inspired by a video that James Smith posted. And that was the title of it, like who calorie deficit does not work for. And I was like, what? What is he going to say? Because calorie deficit is how a human body loses fat. But what does he mean it doesn't work for them? And then I started to listen to his words and I'm like, man, I love this man. He is like really smart about like understanding that you need to be at a certain place in order for calorie deficit to work. Not that if you're in a calorie deficit, we're not saying that, oh, you're in a calorie deficit, but it's not working, you're not losing weight. It's that actually you're not in a position to create a calorie deficit. You're not in a position to focus on a calorie deficit.
Calorie deficit should not be your priority when
I like
trying
that.
to change your life at that moment.
I like that. I love this already, actually.
So what did he say?
So basically, he was saying, Alicia, in like his own fantastic words, he was just saying that, you know, if you hate your job, if you hate your personal life, hate is a big word. If you're not where you should be, if you are not you in your own life, if you are not authentically being yourself in your own life, if you're just showing up and this is kind of like 9 to 5 and you're not okay with the 9 to 5, you could totally be fine with the 9 to 5. 90% of people have a 9 to 5. You know, Jeff has a 9 to 5 and he's totally fine. He does have flexibility, but yeah, he's the 9 to 5 person that like really loves his job and whatever. So, but at the end of the day, he said, if you go to a job that you necessarily do not like, and then you come home in a household that you necessarily do not like, and then you do things that you continue doing things that you do not like, being in a calorie deficit is not your first step to weight loss. You know, you'll never manage being in a deficit consistently enough, he said. He said you'll do it one day, but then it'll just feel like a diet because it's just not what you should be prioritizing and focusing on. So he wasn't saying that calorie deficit is not the answer for fat loss. He was just saying this should not be your priority if this is you. If you're feeling like you're not you and you can't, it's lack of a better word, and you're not happy. You know,
He prioritizes happiness so much. I think more than most people do.
In that industry.
Absolutely. Like he prioritizes it over money. He prioritizes it over what people might think of him, like, social acceptance. Like he just really sees the value in people being happy. And I think he also recognized that there's a lot of people in this world that are not happy.
And yes, absolutely. And I think that what we do, you know why he recognizes that, Leash, because he does what he does, and we recognize it as well in our industry and in our, like, what we do. And I think that, like, with what we do, we see it more than the typical human. We help women, mostly women, really go and chase their happiness. Like that was also a big part of like our wording and our marketing was chase your happiness, chase being happy, not a number, because you're never going to get to this number if you're not chasing happiness first and like who you want to be and setting the tone and being yourself and not faking it. Like that message has not been said enough. And we see it in our industry, which is the weight loss industry. And he's in the weight loss industry as well. He's in the fitness, he's into, so he sees people not being happy in their own world. And he sees how that's that's a problem to be able to accomplish what we, si tu veux, sell and help people to do,
Absolutely. And you know what? So many people use food just like some
Right.
people use tequila it's kind of an escape. It's numbing in that moment. It brings happiness in that moment. It's very temporary, but I do think a lot of people turn to food
Yeah.
to cope with their life and their feelings, and that's just kind of, and it's also something that's almost been like, as a society, like a norm.
Yeah.
Like, oh, having this glass of wine, like, need chocolate, whatever, and that conversation is a touchy one, but it's important that we have that conversation, because you might not even recognize right now that you are using food to numb
Yeah.
how you actually feel about your job or your spouse or your weight, ironically.
Yeah.
But then because we shut it out of our brain. It comes in our brain and our brain's like, you're not happy. And then you're like, oh, I'm just going to stuff it down with a Big Mac.
And often, you know what, we scuff it down, and that's like Band-Aid. You're putting a Band-Aid on your unhappiness. And I think that there's also this like weird thing happening in society right now that everyone knows that no one's really like, everyone's almost in the same boat. It's like, "Ah, everyone feels this way. So you don't do anything about it. Everyone feels this way." Not necessarily. The people that accomplish, big things and do look happy, they work for it. No, it's not because they have things. It's they have a mindset. They have a way of thinking and talking that allows them to be happy. Anyways, it was really good. It's really good.
It's an important conversation to have, that there might be other areas of your life, guys, if you're listening to this and you're like, you know what, I'm not happy, and
Yeah.
maybe your weight is one of the things that is causing you to feel unhappiness.
Yeah.
But maybe there's other things that you might want to sort and attack and tweak before you start to also try and lose weight. Because if you're miserable and not enjoying things, and then on top of that, you're trying to change your life
Create a
in this
deficit.
way.
He was just saying, like, you cannot create a deficit with your lifestyle if your lifestyle is in crumble. And if you're like you because being in a deficit, like wanting to create a deficit consistently, it's not every day, but you're creating a lifestyle that gives you a deficit. And he's like, if you're not happy in your lifestyle, it's not going to stick. Like, you're not going to do it. So he was just saying, like, you need to look into your life first. And then I started to like really be proud of what we offer at Your Weight Loss, because that's literally, because people come in and they're like, tell me about my calorie range and whatever. And we're like, how about you start your start section of the Be Your Best, where we're talking about your habits and how you speak and how, like, so that you can create awareness here before you go and start a calorie deficit lifestyle. Like, we really help our members to do other things before they go and start a calorie deficit lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're just happiness. It's something that is not tangible. We can't order it from Amazon.
So,
But there are many of us that need to take inventory of how we're feeling in our life.
yeah.
And many people think, if I lose weight, I'll be happy.
Right.
So they go straight to that. They
Yeah.
hate their job. They're not happy in their relationship. And I'm not saying like you need to like quit your job. I'm not saying you need to get a divorce. There's
No.
like, it's not one or the other. Like, you can have conversations with your boss, your employees. You can, you can work on things.
Yeah.
But if you are not happy with that, you're waiting for, oh, if I lose weight, I'll be happy. I'm going to tell you, you lose weight tomorrow, you have the same job, the same, like literally nothing really changes. Let's be honest. Like, nothing really like massive changes.
Remember the video you probably don't, but it was like years ago, and it was one of the first days at school when we were teachers, and it was like, I will never forget that video. It was like, you could change your job, you could change your address, you could change your spouse, you could change your house, your bank account. Like, you could change all those things. If you do not change the way you think and the way you speak, if you do not focus on you, the same things will occur in this new location with this new husband, with this whatever. And it was like, oh my God, I loved it so much.
That's really good.
Yeah. And it was like the same pattern is going to come up for a moment you think you're going to be, but you're going to have to really change on how you think in order to focus. And maybe it is selling your house or getting a divorce, but you will have to change your language for this to stick. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know. It was like, I was really proud of him. I'm like, man, he just like keeps getting better and better. Alicia.
I mean, don't even get me started on him.
I know. Just so you know, you guys, he has not reached out. Is it time for me to reach out again?
I don't know. I'm so out of my comfort zone. I'm so scared. It's one of those things that I like don't want to do, but obviously do want to do, you know?
Yes. And like, if we don't reach out, he's not going to, like, it's over.
No.
You know what I mean?
Now
I'll
he's
be
an
like,
awesome.
hey, Luke, Happy New Year. Just sitting here, just doing our thing.
Just waiting.
Just waiting, very excited to one day be able to speak. We have actually Jordan Sight that's coming on our podcast in February.
That's going to be like February's. Oh, how perfect. We can talk about the thing.
Yes, I know.
Oh, that's so fun.
It'll be a fun conversation.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the thing is, basically, we have a fun project. So just keep in touch with our content, so you will know more about what we're up to. While we're filming this, we're not saying it, so we're not going to say anything right now. But maybe by this time you listen to it, it's out there. Okay, we love you. We appreciate you. You deserve to work on other things before you work on a calorie deficit. That's basically what we're saying. You're not broken. It's just because you feel like you can't create that lifestyle that gives you a deficit. What you need to do is you deserve to work on you and your life and your environment before anything else, before you go and start losing weight, right? And then you can start losing weight in an environment that really promotes happiness.
It's perfect.
Yes. Okay. Follow us everywhere. You know what to do. We love you. We appreciate you. Share. Okay. Bye, Leash.
Bye.